school board of the Duval County School District is now convened in its regular monthly meeting. To everyone present and to our television viewers, I wish to extend a warm welcome to this meeting of the Duval County School Board. The vision statement of the Duval County School Board states, "Every student is inspired and prepared for success in college or career and life." The mission statement of the Duval County School Board is to provide educational excellence in every school and every classroom for every student every day. The Duval County School Board is here tonight to listen to reports from district staff and to set policy for the district that will improve student achievement. We will also address budgets, contracts, personnel appointments, and other business items that require a vote of the board. The management and day-to-day operations of the district are the responsibility of the superintendent. It is not the role of the board to make managerial or operational decisions. The board has policies and procedures in place to assist the superintendent in resolving management and operational issues. If items appear to move quickly, it is because the board meets in an agenda committee meeting prior to the board meeting for an in-depth review of all agenda items. The committee meeting for the February 5th, 2019 school board meeting will be held on January 22nd. For the February 5th, 2019 school board meeting will be held on January 22nd, 2019 at 9 a.m. and the public is invited to attend. As a show of courtesy and respect to each other, we ask that all mobile phones be turned off and that no flash photography be used during the meeting. For those wishing to address the board during our public comments portion of the board meeting, please note that we will accept speaker cards until 6:20 p.m. Thank you for taking the time to join us this evening and for your interest in the operation of the Duval County School District. Board members, I invite you to stand for the opening message given tonight by retired pastor Ted Corley and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Is he here? I don't see him. We will have a moment of silence. Now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Tonight, Fort Caroline Middle School of the Visual Arts and Performing Arts Principal Wellington and District 1 and Board Member Grimes is the board representative for that district. Would you come forward and present?
Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Green, Superintendent Green, to the chair, to the vice chair, to the school board, to my honorable chair member, Ms. Cheryl Grimes. Thank you for allowing me here tonight to kind of load a little bit on Fort Caroline Middle School of the Visual and Performing Arts. Just to kind of get started, I'll start off by saying at Fort Caroline this year, we have decided that our theme is It's Showtime. And it goes right along with what we decide to do and what we do every single day at our school. It's Showtime is something that we want our students to feel and believe that every day it's an opportunity for them to showcase who they are both academically and behaviorally, and as citizens, whole-rounded students. So it is showtime at the Fort. Again, thank you. My name is Chovert J. Wellington. I am the principal, very proud principal of Fort Caroline Middle School of the Visual and Performing Arts. To get started, I'm gonna try to make sure I'm doing this right. There we go. So when people walk into our building, one thing that we've decided is one thing that's important for our school is that the climate and the culture feels inviting. One thing that you will know that when you step into the building at Fort Caroline Middle, we have a place for both not only ourselves as the team that works there, our teachers, our students, but our parents and any other stakeholder that walks into that building. Our goal is to make sure that they feel the inviting presence in there, and we shoot for being a family-oriented school. This year we have, again, pushing with that Showtime, It's Showtime theme. We've got our backdrop, and you can see a picture of myself oftentimes walking around in the top hat as the showstopper or the lead jester of the show. And again, that's something that we do and enjoy here at Fort Caroline. Again, climate and culture is big for us. One thing that we love to do weekly is we acknowledge our teachers of the week. This is something that we've been doing since the beginning of the year. We call them our showstoppers. Teachers, as you all know, have one of the most important, or if not the most important jobs in our schools every single day, and they need to feel rewarded every single day. And so we acknowledge our showstoppers weekly. The good thing about what we do is that showstopper isn't presented or pulled or selected by an administrator. That showstopper is selected by teachers and their colleagues. So they look at each other and look at how they're going above and beyond each day for the call of duty for our students. Again, keeping that climate and culture, you will find us doing what we call our Showtime pep rallies. We have a nice gymatorium, is what we'll like to call it, where we have any of our shows or any of our pep rallies in this space. It has been conducive for what we try to do. We make it work for what it can, but our students enjoy our Showtime pep rallies. Again, being the School of the Arts, we have all of our arts performing as well as our visual arts performing or showcases as well. So some of the arts that we offer at Fort Caroline, we have a chorus that we added this year. Our chorus is brand new, our most recent addition to Fort Caroline Performing Arts, but they are, I wish I could have had them here tonight. They would have been a treat for you guys. Our band has been around for these past 2.5 years, and they are, again, something to be reckoned with. I think I would put them up against any band here in Duval. Our dance department is growing. It's our largest performing arts area. They are filled with excited dancers who are learning everything from jazz to tap to ballet to classical to hip hop, and even at times some West African opportunities. So we enjoy our dancers. Our theater department is growing again. We have a great musical and regular theater department that put on shows frequently, both during our December showcase as well as our spring showcase. Visual arts, we offer both 2D, 3D, and we have digital arts. Digital arts are for web design, but our students enjoy this opportunity to kind of showcase. Unlike most performing arts, we have to allow them to showcase their talents throughout the school. So as you walk through our hallways, you'll see their arts being displayed in our hallways. Finally, one big thing that I always want to kind of brag on and touch on is the movement that Fort Caroline has had in the just short 2 years span. So when we began this journey as the Fort Caroline Visual Arts School and Performing Arts School, we were indeed a low D or considered an F school. Within the past 2 years, 2.5 years, we've made a dramatic turnaround. Last year, we were just 5 points away from being a B, and we are excited and are really bragging about that because that was a major jump. We had one of the highest increases in points for middle schools as a whole. So we are excited about the work that's going on at Fort Caroline. We are not shooting for a B this year. In fact, our goal is to be an A. We are seeing our way to an A. That's part of what you'll hear us say at the school. But these are some great things that are happening at Fort Caroline Middle School. Again, and last but not least at all, there are some upcoming events that we are very proud to be a part of. We were selected as the premier student performance for the Eddie Awards. So our Fort Caroline dancers will be performing at the Eddie Awards. We're very proud about that. And then lastly, we are going to host this year's 4th annual Celebration of the Arts in March. So I encourage you all to please take some time when you have the opportunity to come visit Fort Caroline. It is what I think, and maybe I just feel a little biased about it, but I think that we are absolutely the best kept secret in Duval. I'm hoping that this secret doesn't remain a secret for long. I encourage you all to come see what we're doing, tell people about us. But Fort Caroline School of the Visual and Performing Arts is a school that is on its way from a C to an A. And thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you for having me. Again, Happy New Year, and come visit us.
Principal
you.
Wellington, I
Yes.
did have the opportunity to visit your school with Board Member Grimes in the spring, and I encourage all board members to get with Board Member Grimes and tour Fort Caroline. Board Member Grimes, would you like to say anything?
Yes, and you can tell by the energy that he really is on our way to being a great school. And I know that y'all have done this very well, even though we promised you yes, well, yes. And hopefully we will get there when we have the money to make sure you have what you need. But it really is exciting to be in the building, especially with you. And you can see the rapport that you have with your kids. And the culture is, you can also feel it, that everyone there, I think, is excited to be there. And I'm very proud to be the board member for Fort Caroline. And I do believe you'll get to the A.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
I'd now like to ask Dr. Green and Board Member Grimes to come down front for a presentation of awards and certificates.
And then there were five very different teachers, but five united in their distinction as exceptional educators. Tonight, we present to you the 5 finalists for the 2019 Florida Blue Duval County Teacher of the Year. They are Joshua Diaz, a 5th grade math and science teacher at Hogan Spring Glen Elementary, who believes that strong relationships encourage student success. Rachel Duff, a 6th through 8th grade developmental language and ELA through ESOL teacher at DuPont Middle, who sees teaching as a form of activism. Denisha Love, a 9th and 10th grade Algebra 1 and intensive math teacher at Rains High School, who believes in showing students love by setting high expectations. Sarah Pashon, a 4th grade math and science teacher at Sadie Tillis Elementary, who embodies the Carpe Diem lifestyle in the classroom. And Nakisha Tinsley, a 6th through 8th grade health and physical education teacher at Matthew Gilbert and proponent of ensuring equity for all students. And this evening, many of the finalists are joined by their principals. It may seem daunting to single out just 5 from Duval's pool of 8,000 plus, but this process, facilitated by the Jacksonville Public Education Fund, is many months in the making. It begins with each school naming a Teacher of the Year and continues with committees who narrow down those winners to 15 and then to 5. With this group, we see teachers who have all helped their students make significant gains, but above all, we see a group of teachers who genuinely care about their students and have gone above and beyond in not only meeting their needs as pupils, but in also meeting their needs as people, whether they're coming from challenging environments, foreign countries, or they're simply students who need someone to believe in them. To choose just one winner will be a task most of us do not envy, but that announcement will be made at the Eddie Awards on Friday, February 15th. Best wishes to each of you. And at this time, Dr. Green would like to make a special presentation.
Thank you. I just want to present to each of our 5 finalists a coin. This is the Superintendent's Coin of Excellence. And what you have in your blue envelopes is the base that would hold your coin. So I hope that you will place this on your desk or in your home proudly to know that we understand not only what you do each and every day, but that this coin represents how much we appreciate what you do each and every day. And you just are a representation of the many thousand teachers that come to school, to work, Monday through Friday, many times on Saturday and Sunday, to ensure that our students not only receive a high quality education, but that they have a caring adult that is there to address their needs. So thank you and congratulations.
This concludes this evening's presentation.
Approval of the January 7, 2019 agenda. That the Duval County School Board approve the January 7, 2019 agenda as submitted on December 21st, 2018. Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
It was moved by Vice Chair Jones and seconded by Board Member Welly. Is there any discussion? I call for your vote. Do we have a count? By your actions, you have approved agenda 7-0. We are on to the chairman's report, and DCPS was making headlines in December with some good news. This one points out from the Florida Times Union that Duval County graduation rates jumped 4 points. You may also remember too that we had 2 teams bring home not state championship football game tonight, college.
That's tonight.
I'd like to welcome everyone back from holiday break, and I hope you had a very restful and enjoyable break. To leadership and district staff, and especially to all of our teachers, I hope you are rested and well energized for the second half of the school year. I know that when school is in session, there is no time to rest, and we pursue the level of learning and student outcomes that builds on the success we have had academically. Tomorrow's students come back, and as always, they deserve our very best, and I hope that Team Duval is sufficiently rested to literally bring the A game for the rest of the year. To my fellow board members, I also hope that you are well rested and ready to tackle the opportunities we have to work with our superintendent and moving the district forward. I have to say, and I hope our community recognizes, that I am significantly encouraged by the quality of the conversations that we have had at the table and everyone's participation thus far. We have had some great meetings and conversations just prior to the break, and I feel like we are in a great place as a board to provide the kind of quality leadership that our staff, students, families, and community deserve. So thank you all very much. Second of my next 3 topics, it has to do with school choice and the School Choice Expo that's coming up Saturday. So I have to ask, have you seen the ads? At my house, I pause it and we rewind it and watch it again, and to which my husband says, we just saw that. And I said, yeah, but wasn't it good? So hopefully you that is on your calendar. And hot off the press is the School Choice Reference Guide. The expo is Saturday, beginning at 11 o'clock at the Prime Osborne Convention Center. You hear a lot about school choice statewide and even nationally, and I can't imagine a district that gives students and families more choices than Duval County Schools. Whether it's STEM or the arts or college acceleration or dual language, our medical foundations or world cultures, Duval really offers parents and students a tremendous array of choices to ensure that every student has a place where he or she will thrive. Parents, if you are looking for the school that best resonates with your child's interests and motivations, the School Choice Expo is a great first step in discovering the school that will be most conducive to your child's success. Again, I hope to see you Saturday, beginning at 11 o'clock at the Prime Osborne, and I'm certain that you will see other board members there as well. Finally, I want to celebrate and commend our teachers and principals and all of Team Duval for the outstanding news we received prior to the holiday break. As I mentioned at the beginning of my report, our graduation rates jumped by 4.3% in just 1 year. It is, of course, another record for the district. We are at 85.1% graduation rate, and I do want to mention some details because they're impressive. Over 6 years, we have experienced a grad rate increase of 17.4%. Think about that, 17.4% in 6 years, and that has been a combined effort of teachers, of school administrators, of principals, of superintendent leadership, as well as community support. Here are some statistics worth noting from this year. We saw African American students increase in graduation rate by 6.4 points. That's 83.2% graduation rate. Hispanic students, 84.3 graduation rate, up 3.2 points over last year. English language learners, 82.3% graduation rate, up 5.4 percentage points from last year. Low socioeconomic students saw a 79.5% graduation rate increase, up 6 points over last year. Students with disabilities saw a 77.1% graduation rate, which was up 6.4% points over last year. That saying that 1 out of 3 students drop out of school is certainly not true in Duval County. At most of our traditional graduation rate is up well over 90%. This is something that we need to continue to celebrate as a district and certainly as a community. Make no mistake, the high school outcome is built on strong foundations in the middle and elementary school. The record graduation rate is something which everyone in Team Duval should be very proud of. Our high school teachers and staff are doing a fabulous job helping our students get across the goal line, and their work is possible because of our academic results show students arriving at high school increasingly well prepared to succeed. I mentioned at the beginning of my report about the football games that took place, where we saw William Raines High School bring home their 2nd state championship title. Also, Mandarin High School brought home its 1st state title in program history. I have to thank Dr. Green, who was at both games on the sideline. One was on Thursday in Orlando, and she drove back down on Saturday for the game. That was great to be on the sideline for that. And Vice Chair Jones was able to be on the sideline for Raines on Thursday. So would also like to thank Mayor Curry for his recognition of both of these teams prior to winter break, where he gave keys to the city to both coaches for the success, and we certainly appreciate the community's enthusiasm over these state championships. Dr. Green?
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation, Ms. Hershey. I just want to echo that please show up on Saturday at the Prime Osborne for the School Choice Expo. It's very important that you have an opportunity to see all of the schools, which we have over 157 traditional and 33 charter schools, that you have all the information you need to make the best decision for your child. My presentation tonight are going to cover 2 topics. I want to give some more background information on the last workshop we had about the condition of facilities, as well as some cabinet moves that we're excited about. At the last, here it is. I was looking for that. At our last workshop in December, we had a presentation from Don Nelson and Paul Soares on what we call the Facility Condition Index, and shared with the board that information about each of the schools in each of your districts, as well as the school district as a whole. But I think what's important is that there's some background information about our schools. Duval County has the oldest school facilities in the state of Florida. If you look at that colorful rainbow bar graph, the average building age, if you look at the 7 largest districts, Duval, we're the oldest in the big 7, but we're the oldest of all 67. Based on how DOE calculates school age, they indicate the average school age is 44 years in Duval. And if you look next, it's Miami-Dade, and they are at 33, 11 years still younger than our average school district facility. However, if you break it down by the age of buildings, based on the age of the original construction, that means the year it was constructed, over 65% of our schools are more than 50 years old. So as you can see, 51 plus years, we have 39.4, between 41 to 50 years, 10.5, and you can see the data. Only 9.8% of our schools are between 1 and 10 years. And the second bullet explains the first slide. Florida Department of Education computes age per permanent square foot with an average of 41 years for schools in Duval County. In addition to the age of our schools, our funding for capital outlay has changed over the years. In 2008, we were receiving $32 million per year, basically in capital outlay. And today, in 2018, we're only receiving $13.7 million. So capital funding for maintenance has decreased by more than $18 million over the past decade. And we are racking up major maintenance, and that backlog has risen to over $164 million, $258 million in backlog major maintenance. So when we look at the Facilities Condition Index, and it's known as the FCI, there are a number of indicators. It does not indicate that a school is unsafe. The basic premise of the Facility Condition Index is the total building repair divided by total repair cost equals the FCI. So basically, the general indicator of a healthy facility uses the repair cost estimated for the next 5 years of the school. The higher the FCI, the greater the needs of the facility. And it is important to note that the FCI is only one indicator and is not the only factor to consider when identifying whether a school needs major renovation, replacement, or closure candidates. So once this step has been completed, you might ask, well, what are our next steps? What are we going to do from this point forward? Step 1 is we need to continue the completion of the enrollment projection study. Currently, that we are in the middle of that study, and we need that information to move forward. Step 2 is determine other additional factors for consideration. At that workshop, we also shared the capacity of each facility. That is a major component that needs to be brought into the conversation. Step 3, we need community awareness and input. The community needs to share information with us as a district and as well as you as the board members. Once we have all of that information compiled, we'll move towards step 4 of what we call plan development and implementation. But whatever plan is developed, it must come before the board, and the board will have workshops, other opportunities to engage in the process, and at some point a decision will need to be made from the board as how we will move forward with this major comprehensive plan. So I felt it was important to kind of just give some brief background why this this plan was asked from the district. Actually, it was started prior to me arriving. That this engineering firm was evaluating each of our schools, and it's based on the information that I shared. That one, we have the oldest schools in the state of Florida, and two, our funding that normally would be tied to any type of renovation or new school, as you can see, it has dramatically decreased over the last decade, and that we do not project that funding will increase anytime soon. So that is just something for the public to know, that we will continue to work through this process, and if whether you're a community member or a parent, when we start the community input, it's very important that they stay engaged and hopefully will be a part of the process. I have one last slide. I'm excited about some leadership team updates and some changes that we are making starting January 14th. I've pretty much have talked with each of the board members about the changes that I wanted to make in the leadership team. I've always been a big believer that we should support the people who have been working in this district, and to look at how we can have upward mobility for our current employees. And so I'm excited to announce the leadership changes that will be taking place. When I call each person's name, I'm going to ask them to stand because they are here tonight. So Dr. Dana Krisner, who's currently our Chief of Staff, I'm recommending her for the new position of Deputy Superintendent of Instruction. Miss Sunita Young, who is currently, stay standing, Dana. Is currently the Assistant Superintendent of HR, will now be our new Chief of Staff. Next, I'd like Victoria Schultz, who is Chief of Schools. She will now be the Assistant Superintendent, or Chief of HR. I'm getting those two pieces mixed up. Mr. Wayne Green, I didn't get a chance to let him know, come towards the front. But Mr. Wayne Green, who's currently the Assistant Superintendent of the Turnaround Region, will now be Chief of Schools. I will be recommending, this will be a new individual new to the district. I will be recommending Dr. Julio Valley, who currently is the Executive Director of Turnaround Schools for the Florida Department of Education, specifically the Florida Department of Education Bureau of School Improvement. And Dr. Valley will be joining us to be the new Assistant Superintendent for Turnaround Region. So if we could, let us congratulate these individuals for a job well done, and I expect no less than from them as we move forward as a district. Thank you.
We are now on the public comment portion of our agenda. Those wishing to address the board must fill out blue speaker cards. The school board welcomes your comments on matters that are before the board for consideration. It is not the board's intent to respond this evening, but to use the input in our deliberations. To give everyone appropriate respect and courtesy, we ask the audience to refrain from audible comments or applause. When you come to the microphone, please state your name for the record. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. When the green light in front of me starts blinking, you will have a minute remaining. When the light turns yellow, you will have 30 seconds remaining. When it turns red and the buzzer sounds, your time will be up. If your concerns exceed that time, you may present written comments to the board. You are asked to refrain from references to specific individuals and to follow expectations of civil discourse. Please remember that speaker cards were only accepted until 6:20 p.m. Thank you for taking your time to address the board. Our first speaker is Mr. James Moser.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Mosier. I'm a teacher at Mandarin High School. I want to talk to you about safety, because that's one of the items on your agenda this evening. I have some safety concerns at my school. Number one, we had a student this year tell a teacher that his uncle was going to take him out. What does that mean? That he's going to kill him. The student got 90 minutes of ISSP for that infraction, if you can believe this. 90 minutes, one period. We had a student shove security personnel to the ground this year. We had a student bump a teacher, and the teacher was told that she should not press charges. In December, I had a raw egg thrown at the door of my classroom. I had cereal thrown at my door. I had a can of chili thrown at my door, if you can believe this. We still don't know who's been doing that. Also, talking about discipline for a second, at the beginning of the year, I wrote a student up for skipping my class. The referral was NCC'd, meaning not code of conduct. There was no discipline given because the dean told me I should have had 3 interventions. She suggested I have 1 intervention at the beginning of the year. I should have told the students skipping was wrong. I'm supposed to tell high school students that skipping was wrong. Okay, I'm not going to look like an idiot in front of my students. I'm not going to do that because they're high school students. Okay, I had another student use profanity, some really bad profanity in my class out of anger, and since the profanity wasn't towards me, she NCC'd that referral. No consequences. We've had 260 referrals NCC'd this year. So members of the school board, I'm asking you to look at the code of conduct. We need tougher consequences, and we need immediate consequences. We can't keep giving chances to these kids, these interventions, because they're laughing about it right now at my school. I mean, this is just plain, if you ask me, ridiculous. 12 years ago at Robert E. Lee High School, I talked about safety at that time. I was assaulted by a student. That's why I have a cane today. I am disabled for the rest of my life, thanks to the incompetence of that principal of that school at that time. So I'm asking the members of the school board, I'm asking the superintendent, we need to look at discipline a little tougher in Duval County schools. I hear that. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mosier. The next speaker is James Gilman. Did you want something?
My name is James Gilman. Good evening, Board Chair, fellow board members, Superintendent Green, guests, and fellow attendees. Is not the purpose of an education to gain the cognitive thinking skills with which to solve problems? Reading, writing, and arithmetic are just means to that end, are they not? This goal is not shared by many educational institutions based on perusing their websites. Instead, I mostly found oblique statements. I contend this lack of focus and direction is not new, or our country would not be encountering problems that should have never arisen. We've allowed our own laws to infringe upon and even annihilate, for some, the unalienable rights endowed by our Creator. We respond to these outcomes with the very same activity that leads us there, passing new laws that further rub out these rights. When in a hole, stop digging. Some even say that hole in which we find ourselves is analogous to hell, given that the lives were snuffed out in Parkland, Florida, and Duval County schools now look like the pea farm. As I understand it, some of you want more guns on our campuses. We don't need more guns. I'm not alone in that thought, as evidenced by the Gifford Law Center lawsuit. However, I think GLC is misguided as well. It tackles the symptom, not the disease that has led to this rotten stench. In doing so, it forces Duval County Public Schools to consume resources that should be used to educate our children or even for buildings and repairs. When I stood before you back in September, I advocated that you sue the federal government. In 2005, Congress passed the Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act. Arguably, it's unconstitutional, as it's giving gun manufacturers protections that neither you nor I and it hinders our ability to protect our children's unalienable rights. Worse, it has led you to infringe on their rights. Meaningful change will not occur until it and other misguided laws are altered and abolished. We don't need gun laws because guns do not kill people. People kill people. And since people are, well, human, we need laws to ensure that people are capable of handling an instrument of death. And two, more importantly, will respect others' unalienable rights. I call these responsibility laws. Madam Chairwoman, school board members, Dr. Green, I encourage you to set aside your differences with GLC and seek to overturn those laws that force you to infringe upon my children's unalienable rights. After I leave this meeting, I will share my thoughts with representatives at GLC. I encourage both Duval County Public Schools to join and GLC to join forces to fight for our unalienable rights, because whenever any law becomes destructive of these rights, it is right of the people to alter or to abolish it and institute new laws to affect their safety and happiness. Most of those words were written over 250 years ago. I just nipped and tucked. Let's fight the good fight. Let's fight for our children's well-being. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gilman. We are now on to the comments from parent organizations. Is there anyone from parents' organizations here tonight that would like to speak? Comments from employee organizations. I see Miss Brady.
She's moving fast.
She's running.
Happy New Year. Madam Chairman, I have some handouts. May I please give them to Ms. Chastain? Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board, Madam Superintendent. Happy New Year. I just have two issues today, and I think they're very important issues. The first one is our local millage referendum. What is being handed out to you is a chart that I have compiled from the year 18 that took place with all the counties in Florida that had a primary referendum ballot, which was new, or a renewal referendum that took place. And I proudly say that Manatee was on that list. Yay, Madam Superintendent. And that's a good thing. Yeah. And I also put down here the actual type of ballot questions that were posed to the voters, whether it was a millage or a sales tax, whether it was done in a special election, primary, or general, the outcome, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment, and then what it's going to. The largest one I might want to add is the Dade County passage that just passed. $232 million their referendum is going to generate. And they did it for employee benefits and salaries and safety. The average teacher in Dade County and administrator is going to get $12,000 supplement each year for 4 years. The average pink collar or blue collar worker, and that means our clerical, maintenance, and others, are going to get anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 supplement a year, each year for 4 years, or the life of that referendum. And we all know that Dade County generates a lot more revenue because of their magnitude of their population that they're there. But ladies and gentlemen of the board and Madam Superintendent, I know you've had this experience in your own county. I think the time is now. If you look at this document, every major urban district in the state of Florida not only initiated but passed a referendum to benefit their employees and their general revenue except for Duval. I think we're ready now. They talk about recruitment and retention. Dade raised their beginning teacher salary to $52,000 a year. I want to make sure we say that. $52,000 a year. Now, Ms. Young and I are excited when we go to negotiations based on your leadership that we've been able to inch our way up every year, a little bit better every year. But we are so far away from $52,000. And it's not because it's the fault of the district school board. It's the Florida legislature. Need I say more on that? So I think it's time now that we rally together, that we get together with a plan, And it's time that we go out and generate our own revenue to meet the needs of our employees and our students so we can recruit and retain the best and the brightest to stand before our students, and that we can also fund additional funding here in the district. You all know that we're having city elections coming up, and it's too late for that. So we're talking about this initiative would take a year to 18 months to even get petitions done, get court-approved ballot initiatives for the ballot, and to wage and raise the money necessary in this district. I happen to have the campaign plans for Dade and Broward and Palm Beach when they ran their referendums. I'm sure we have someone here among us that has a plan of another county that when they ran their initiative. Just saying. And I think it's time. My board tonight, we met, our executive board, we met, and it was unanimously passed that we would support any initiative by this board. But I would like to say, if we as a school board and the union cannot work together collaboratively to put a referendum on the ballot soon, then DTU took a vote tonight that we will be addressing it on our own, with the support, hopefully, by community leaders. And I hope that's not the case, because you can't sell an initiative and a ballot referendum for our schools if we don't do it in a collaborative voice. And we've always been able to do that through Duval Teachers United and the Duval County School Board. My second issue as it relates to that is unfunded mandates. I have given a public records request to the district for a public records request of unfunded mandates that just generates from the year 2017 and the year 2018. In that, I have put together in the public records request, there were 18 major bills passed in 2017 that were mandates, but the legislature gave us no funding revenue for that came out of our general revenue. In 2018, there were 6, but in those 6 bills, they are massive bills, like thick, massive bills, like the safety bill that encompass the mental health and the safety initiatives. And then, of course, we had proviso language that also encumbered additional revenue that was being handed to us, but the bills did not pass, but they rolled them into proviso. And then, of course, we have our categoricals. Categoricals, as you know, are mandates. It is strictly narrowly focused by law as to what those categoricals can be spent for. But it also states that it doesn't state that it's going to be 100% fully funded. And I think the greatest expenditure for us is transportation in those categoricals. We get a substantial amount for categoricals in Duval County, but the amount of monies that we have to spend for transportation because of the size of our district is probably on a percentage basis greater than even Miami-Dade on a percentage per capita basis. I have asked for these results, and let me tell you why. It is not to single out Duval County and our finance department. It is to single out the Florida legislature. They go around and they beat their chest, we increased the BSA. We increased the funding to your schools. But no one has ever been able to say, yes, but. And the but is, you gave us 18 bills that generated mandates of great magnitude, but there was no money, so this money has to come out of that general revenue or basic student allocation you gave us. No one has ever said in 2018 you passed these 6 absolutely huge bills and what the actual cost factor of those bills are that has to come out of either through grants that our board or your staff has to go out and look for because we have to meet those mandates, but they haven't given us any money. And then, of course, the general categoricals. In the letter, we actually went through the categoricals. I've listed all the bills, and I think that this is as important or more important than anything that is coming before us right now. If we were to actually show the Duval delegation, and frankly, the current governor starting tomorrow and others, that you might have increased the BSA, it's simple math. Here's what we got. Here's what we had to spend without you giving us anything. And here's how much we're in the hole. It would be eye-awakening to our editorial board, to our chamber, and to the citizens of this community. So when they come to us and say, why did you cut our testing coordinators and reading and math coordinators and our educational specialists and our paraprofessionals, we can actually say, because we have no money. The revenue has already been encumbered. I will fight next to the board members, each of you, and Madam Superintendent, I will fight next with you, beside you, not behind you. Sometimes I tend maybe to get in front, and I don't want to do that. I will stand beside you if I can. But I believe the time is now. The session starts tomorrow afternoon. The legislative session starts tomorrow afternoon. I preliminarily have spoken to every member of our delegation talking about these unfunded mandates when I showed them the bills and the categoricals. But they all ask me, how much are you in the hole? And I don't know. So hopefully with the public records request and our budget's free time, I mean that very lovingly, in the free time, we can get specific numbers attached to these so that either can be modified or we can have greater flexibility, because we as a district need to start doing what we need to do in Duval County, like maintaining current programs in schools and getting them back instated where they need to be, and the validity and the purity of this. I'm here to help, as always. I think that we as a group should, after tomorrow, after we hear the governor's address, which we've got a preliminary statement, I think we're in for a very rocky year, legislative session starting in 19. And I think if we, as a collaborative we, cannot be more proactive with our chamber, our mayor, our editorial board, and the citizens in this community, I'm very fearful of what really might happen after this next legislative session. And all you have to do is read the speech that's already been highlighted tomorrow. I don't come to you ever and use the word fearful, because I don't have too much fear in my soul. Okay? Y'all know, a lot of you have known me for years and years and years. But I am fearful because we can't print money, and our students come wanting the best that they can possibly get, and so do the parents. But put us on a dadgum equal playing field of everybody else. And it's just not us, it's all 67 counties. Give us the resources we need financially to do our job and lift the unfunded mandates so we can find the best way to meet the needs of our students. I thank you very much. I do wish you a Happy New Year. I think 19 is going to be an exciting one way or the other. And I know that we at Duval Teachers United pledge our support to you as a board and the superintendent to do what we need to do. We've already generated, as of tonight, over 27,000 emails that have gone into the state capitol, along with our members and non-members and our constituency groups and our community groups as of the end of the day today, which is pretty good for one day's worth of work. And we will continue to work for the next 90 days to do what's right, to let them know at least we're watching them and we're going to hold them accountable, so when they come home, you know, they're going to have to answer to the students and to the parents and the community here in Jacksonville. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Brady. Is there anyone else from the employee organization who wishes to speak? I don't see anyone in the audience, just don't want to overlook anyone. Seeing no one, we're on to approval of minutes. That the Duval County School Board approve the minutes for the meetings listed in the agenda item. November 19, 2018, board workshop and committee meeting. December 4, 2018, special board meeting and workshop. December 4, 2018, regular board meeting. December 18, 2018, special board meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It was moved by Board Member Grimes, seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Is there any discussion? I call for your vote. By your action, you have approved the minutes, 7-0. Approval of consent agenda. Are there any items to be placed on the consent agenda or items for discussion? Is there a motion?
So moved.
It was moved by Board Member Smith Juarez and seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. You have passed this item 7-0. We're on the discussion agenda. Academic services, public hearing and vote. Adoption of district-wide mathematics instructional materials. Dr. Green, would you please read your recommendation?
Thank you, Madam Chair. That the Duval County School Board approve the adoption and purchase of the following mathematics instructional materials. 1. LSM PhD and Cursant G PhD 2020 Ready Classroom Mathematics Florida Edition Curriculum Associates for Elementary K through 5 Mathematics. 2. Berger E.B. PhD, Dixon J.K. PhD, Knoll T.D. PhD, Larson M.R. PhD, and Lewand S. J. 2020 Intro Math, Florida Hoop Mifflin Hardcourt for middle school 6 through 8 mathematics. Number 3, Kennedy D. PhD, Malu E. EDD, Thomas C.D. PhD, and Zyback R.M. PhD 2020 Envision Florida Pearson Education for AGA Series Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2. Number 4, Carter J.A.
Here's what I found on the web.
Number 4, Carter J.A. PhD, Kuvas G.J. PhD, Day R. PhD, and Malloy C. PhD 2020 Florida Pre-Calculus Honors McGraw-Hill Education for Pre-Calculus. Number 5, Martin Gay E. 2017 Intermediate Algebra Math for College Readiness Florida Edition Pearson Education for College Readiness Math. Number 6, Gerver R. and Rowe R. ND Financial Algebra, Advanced Algebra with Financial Applications, Cengage for Financial Algebra. That was a mouthful.
I now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak? Seeing none, I now close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It was moved by Board Member Anderson and seconded by Board Member Willie. Is there any board member wishing to speak? Seeing none, I call for your vote. You have passed this item 7-0. Public hearing and revisions to Chapter 2 policies. That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt recommended revisions to the following policies in School Board Manual Chapter 2. 1. Policy 2.12, Orientation of Board Members. 2. Policy 2.13, Responsibilities and Authority of the Board. 3. Policy 2.25, School Board Rules. 4. Policy 2.35, Board Committees Policies 2.12, Orientation of Board Members. I now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It was moved by Board Member Grimes and seconded by Board Member Anderson. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you have passed this item 7-0. Public hearing and vote revisions to Chapter 5 Board Policies. Dr. Green, would you please read your recommendations?
That the Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and adopt the recommended revisions to the following policies in Chapter 5 of the School Board Manual. Number 1, Policy 5.10, Requirements for Original Entry. 2, Policy 5.15, Homeless Students. 3, Policy 5.2, Student Assignment. 4, Policy 5.22, Student Transfer Policy. 5, Policy 5.23, Transfer Policy for Dependent Children of Transitioning Military Personnel. 6, Policy 5.44, School Attendance Boundaries. 7, Policy 5.45, Acceleration Program Access. 8, Policy 5.46, Magnet Schools and Programs. 9, Policy 5.50 plus, School Health Services Plan. 10, Policy 5.62, Administration of Medication. 11, Policy 5.8, Athletics.
I now open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak to this? Seeing none, I now close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Board Member Grimes, seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Board Member Smith-Juarez, did you wish to speak?
Thank you, I did. And specifically, looking at Policy 5.22, Student Transfer Policy, and Policy 5.46, the Magnet Schools and Programs. I wanted to remind everyone first that our School Choice Expo will be this weekend. Please take that opportunity to learn more about all of the various options that we have across the district, and also take advantage of upcoming school tours and other opportunities to really see all that the district has to offer, including your neighborhood school. So remember that as an option as you are looking through all of the various choices that exist here in the district. Because of the method by which we amend our policies, I thought it very important to move forward with the policies that we have drafted and posted here. There are some substantive changes that will be important to moving forward with the school choice process, one of which is that everything will be moving online. So another opportunity to just make folks aware that if it pleases the board, and the will of the board is to adopt this policy this evening, that not only will applications be online this year, but also notifications will be online. So make certain that you are making note of those dates for notifications, that you have your login information, that you use the school choice office to help educate and guide you on how to do those things, that you can use your public libraries for internet access, as well as other points across the district in your schools and other places. But please do be aware that not only will your application, but your notification will be online this year. So there are some really important changes that allows us to update things in real time. It allows us to keep you informed, and it makes sure that paper doesn't get lost in the shuffle, and that you have access to those results as soon as they are posted and any time after they're posted. That being said, so one of many, but lots of good things in here that I believe that we're updating based on experience, knowledge, technology. I do, however, and with the policy as it's there, to make any substantive changes this evening on the floor would require that we repost the policy, and we wouldn't be able to move forward with many of the things that will make the process easier, more streamlined, and more accurate for folks this year. So I am in support of the policies. I plan to vote for the policies, but I would like for us to have further discussion beginning even tomorrow during governance about the access for students, the equity of access for students as it relates to the acceptance deadlines and the opportunity for students to apply to programs that may have space available throughout the year. So I don't think we need to get into that discussion this evening, but I did just want to let the board know that I would like to revisit some of those things, and I want to thank Shawanda Peak and Ms. Young both for having some great conversation with me, helping me to understand and explain what's contained in the policy, and also I think we had some good dialogue about opportunities moving forward. So want to really appreciate them, let the board know that I will be talking more about that in governance tomorrow, and let the public know, again, this Saturday, School Choice Expo, Prime Osborne, and make sure that you are aware of the changes that will be coming forward so that you can have the best access to information possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member Smith-Morris. Anyone else wish to comment? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you have passed this item 7-0. Public hearing and vote, new policy 8.21, threat assessment teams. The Duval County School Board conduct a public hearing and approve the adoption of the board policy, threat assessment teams. Do you have a recommendation? Let's see.
That the Duval County School Board approve the adoption of Board Policy 8.21, Threat Assessment Teams.
I open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Board Member Grimes, seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Are there any board members who wish to speak on this? Board Member Anderson.
During our workshop when we talked about this quite a bit, I just wanted to say thank you for looking at the language in this policy and making sure that we are including space for training for these individuals so that they are able to make assessments and for these children that are wise and safe. I think that it's clear that it's a priority for us as a district and as a board to not take these things lightly. And I know that there are some concerns that have been brought forth by the public to make sure that as we move forward with creating these teams, that we're being thoughtful about that. And I appreciate the conversation, and I'm excited to move forward with developing this policy.
Any other comments? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you have passed this 7-0. Public hearing and vote, policy 10.40, religious expression in public schools. Dr. Green.
That the Duval County School Board hold a public hearing and approve the addition of policy 10.40, religious expression in public schools.
I open the public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It was moved by Board Member Anderson, seconded by Board Member Grimes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this? Seeing none, I call for your vote. By your actions, you have passed this item 7-0. Board member travel. That the Duval County School Board approve the following board member travel. January 7 through 11, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida, Legislative Committee Week. Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, and Willie. January 22nd through 25, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida. Legislative Committee Week. Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, and Willie. January 25 through 30, 2019, Washington, D.C., National School Board Association Equity Symposium and Advocacy Institute, Anderson. February 4 through 8, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida, Legislative Committee Week, Anderson, Grimes, Hershey, Jones, Joyce, Smith Juarez, and Willie. February 6 through 8, 2019, Howie in the Hills, Florida, Florida School Board Association School Finance Forum, Joyce. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Yep. It was moved by Board Member Grimes and seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Is there any discussion? Go ahead.
Excuse me, Madam Chairman, I believe a name was omitted, so we'll need an amendment.
Okay.
So perhaps the board member, I believe Board Member Anderson is going to attend the February 6th through 8th, 2019 Howie in the Hills FSBA School Finance Forum. Is that the correct one?
That's correct.
So if someone could make a motion to amend to add Board Member Anderson, and if that's seconded and voted, we can.
I move to amend,
February 6 through 8, 2019, Howie in the Hills.
well, it appears to be in the recommendation we were given, maybe just not in the script.
Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at that.
All right. Sorry,
It is in the agenda item, it just wasn't in the script.
It's
So
not
I
in the
think
script.
if we could just clarify that it is in the agenda item. I apologize, I was looking at the script.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we vote, and it will include
Yes,
Board Member
ma'am.
Anderson in that
It will.
finance workshop by the Florida School Board Association?
Yes, ma'am, and I
So-
apologize, but that clarifies it.
Okay. Thank you, Board Member Smith Juarez. All right, can I call for your vote? By your actions, you have passed this 7-0. Superintendent travel. That the Duval County School Board approve the following superintendent travel. January 7 through 11, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida Legislative Committee Week. January 24 through 27, 2019, Tallahassee, Florida Legislative Committee Week. Is there a motion?
So moved.
It was moved by Board Member Willie and seconded by Vice Chair Jones. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call for your vote. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make note, both with the board member travel and with the superintendent travel, that because of some changes in statute, there's some different approval processes that are happening. And so because we're unaware of what committees will be meeting when and what bills might be heard during those committee meetings, we're making sure to make allowance for our engagement in that advocacy process and our participation in those processes, as well as the superintendents.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments? Seeing none, I call for your vote. You have passed that item 7-0. Believe it or not, we are on for the record. So I will start with Vice Chair Jones.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Tracy Pierce reminded everybody that the game kicks off at 8 o'clock. So
That's right.
I just, first of all, I just want to congratulate Raines and Mandarin High School for winning the state championship, as you pointed out. And the mayor was very generous in giving, I think, his 4th and 5th key to the city to the 2 coaches, which he doesn't give out very often. And also just want to thank the Veterans of Foreign Wars for donating $1,500 for families in transition, homeless education. They were very generous, and I asked them to maybe prorate it next year, because they give the same amount to every county, and certainly we have more students than some of the surrounding counties, but they haven't got to that point yet. But they were very generous, and I accept that on behalf of the district, and I handed it over to Dr. Davis and told her that make sure she didn't take a trip while we were gone. Thank you.
Board Member Joyce.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have had the opportunity the last month to visit half of my schools that I'm newly elected to, and it has been a real pleasure. And by the end of this month, I will have visited all of them. But I do want to just give a little shout out to Miss Dole of Chafee Trail Elementary. When I arrived, she was in her pajamas, and they were having their Christmas party, and it was so festive, and it was very exciting. So that was a wonderful experience. And then Crystal Springs Elementary, Miss Russ Porterfield. She also greeted me in her pajamas, but she has the most amazing PBIS system at that school. And the children earn DUS dollars, I think is what she called them. They have to earn, I think, 90 to go to the dance at the end of the quarter for good behavior. And at the dance, they get to buy refreshments with their other the other dollars. But she also had people bring in items, so the kids could also purchase presents for their moms and their dads and their aunts and their uncles. And so it was just a great time. I didn't want to leave. And so I just love what's going on around the district, and it's always nice to visit the elementary schools at Christmas time to see what fun things they're doing.
Board Member Smith Juarez.
Thank you. I want to again congratulate our graduates for the hard work that they put in to earn that over 85% graduation rate, as well as all of our staff, their parents, their mentors, those that support those young people who now are high school graduates and citizens of Jacksonville. We've heard about 2 of the state champions this evening in Duval County, but I'm not sure that even all of the board knows that there are actually 3 state champs here in Duval County. Brookview Elementary was awarded the Summer Literacy Adventure Prize. That means that they read more books than any other elementary school over the last summer break. And Deputy Chancellor Lyons, myself, representatives from the Parks Department, and others were there at Brookview to congratulate them, where Deputy Chancellor Lyons named them the state champions of reading. So we have 3 state champions here in Duval County, and I want to say congratulations again to all of the students at Brookview Elementary for the great reading that they did over the summer and the reading that they will continue to do, because they all knew and chanted in unison, read, read, and read some more. So it was great to be there for that and to see the great work that they are doing to inspire young learners and young readers. I also, last meeting, had to bite my tongue as a couple of other board members were congratulating the Teacher of the Year finalists from their districts, because mine did not yet know. So I'm really excited this meeting to be able to congratulate Rachel Duff from DuPont and Joshua Diaz from Hogan Spring Glen. You saw them earlier this evening. They are phenomenal teachers in District 3. So we're proud of all of our Teacher of the Year finalists, but especially Rachel and Joshua, who teach in District 3.
Bias.
Well, you know, I got a 2 out of 5 shot. So we're really looking forward to the Teacher of the Year ceremonies, and want to congratulate all of the Teachers of the Year across the district. There is one named for every school, and all of you deserve accolades and congratulations, but we get especially excited when we get to see those who are teaching close to our schools. So, and then also just wanted to note that I will be hosting a community meeting on February 11th coming up, so you'll hear more about it again at the next meeting. But to talk a little bit more deeply about the FCI index and the state of our school buildings, the capital funding, and by then we may have some indication of where funding is moving for next year. So please mark your calendars for the evening of February 11th, 6 o'clock. We're working on a location, which you will hear more about next meeting. And in the interim, we'll be emailing you, letting you know. So thank you.
Board Member Anderson.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their time off and they're looking forward to a wonderful second half of our school year. I wish everyone well, teachers and staff, that you are refreshed and coming back in to greet your students. I have a couple things I'm looking forward to. I am working very diligently to try to get our schedules together so that I can get out to visit all of our schools in District 2. I'm looking very forward to that. So please, if you are a District 2 administrator, I'll be coming. I haven't forgotten about you. I will be there. I'm also looking forward to going to the NSBA conference in DC in just a couple of weeks, and excited to learn more about how we can use our voice on the national level and speaking with our legislators about some really important issues. Like Board Member Smith-Juarez, I have a tentative date on the schedule for District 2 Community for February 12th to talk more about our facilities and get some input from the community and just start the ball rolling on those conversations. It's going to be really important for us to have one voice and for the community to understand really what our needs are, and for us to understand what your needs are. So please plan to be there. Spread the word, tell your neighbors. You can follow my Facebook page, and I'll be putting out more information to confirm times and locations as well. So I will see everyone at the expo on Saturday. Please make sure to take some time to get out and see what wonderful options Duval County has for our students.
Thank you. Board Member Grimes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Everything everybody said is exactly what I wanted to say. For those of you who have not been to the to our choice opportunity, it's amazing. There are so many people that come, and the kids are excited, and anybody who says that we don't have choice has not been to our expo. So I certainly hope everyone does take that opportunity. Also, I hope that our leaders had a great time off. Sometimes when you're off so long, you just don't want to come back. But I'm sure that wasn't the case with any of y'all. I know it was a little hard for me, but I'm sure everybody's ready to get into the new year. And I really am just so proud of the work that all of y'all have done to get us where we are on our graduation rate. That's just a wonderful showing of what we are doing as a district, and I hope that we will, as our superintendent has been collecting information about how people feel about our district, that we will get to the point where we're going to have an opportunity to market what we're doing and let people really know what we're doing, because I think in a lot of cases where although we are doing great things, the word's just not getting out like it should be. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think that's it.
Remember, Willie, we saved the best for last, I'm sure.
Oh, wow. First of all, thank you everyone for coming out. I'm going to start with the school choice expo. Very excited for multiple reasons. Number one, my oldest is going to be starting school, so I'm going through this as not only as a board member, but also a proud father. And I know the energy that I have is excitement, but also a bit of trepidation. So I know our parents and other folks are feeling that same thing. So I just appreciate Ms. Peak and others for really thinking about all of those things when it comes to this. And I think it's really important. So come out to that expo, come hang out with some of the board members, take some selfies. I know Superintendent loves taking selfies. So come out and take some selfies with us. We'd love to see that. In addition, I wanted to shout out my teacher of the year in my district, Gilbert, Miss Tinsley, Coach Tinsley. She was so excited when she got the nod that she was the top 5 finalist, and she's on top of the world, and if she doesn't win, she's still teacher of the year over there in everybody's mind. So I'm just excited to be at the Eddie Awards and be able to witness that, because it is truly what it's all about. Our teachers are the lifeline of who we are, so we want to make sure we celebrate them any chance we get, and the Eddies are an opportunity to do that. Also, just want to note, you heard about community meetings. We're all trying to set up community meetings because we truly believe that you all's voice, the community's voice, is important in what we do. So you'll hear from myself as well from my district and about a community meeting late in February. Last couple of things, I do want to congratulate the cabinet members who got the nod, the new appointments. I think some great hires for you, Superintendent, and I think we're off to an amazing start, and I think you have some superstars here, so I'm excited to see what work they're able to do. And last, I'll just say that it takes a village, and you heard today about a lot of the pieces around our schools. Our structures are old. Our village, our physical structure of our village is old, so we have some decisions to make, and I think we have the right group of people assembled to have that conversation, working with other partners around this city to make the right decision. And we're going to have to make some big decisions, and I'm glad we're up here making them together, because at the end, it's going to be great for kids. So just wanted to say that as well. So Happy New Year to everyone. Excited about the year ahead.
Thank you very much. Board Member Joyce mentioned the gift shop that was at your school. I volunteered to wrap gifts at Greenland Pines, and then was at Crown Point, and they called me out because they noticed there was a picture posted that I'd wrap gifts. But I had not done it at their shop, so just be careful. So next year I've got to sign up for more gift wrapping. But I did want to let everyone know that I have 2 community meetings scheduled for January. One is January 23rd at Bartram Springs. It will be a chat with the superintendent. And then Loretto, the oldest school in Mandarin that's 75 years old. We will have our conversation about facilities at Loretto on January 31st at 6:00 p.m. Again, come early to the expo on the 11th. I have shown up late, and it was like getting to the Jaguar game with traffic. I thought I was never going to be able to turn in. So if you want a good parking spot, come before 11. I would encourage you. It's a great event, and we look forward to seeing everyone there. Having said that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
We adjourn.
Second, go Tigers.
As motioned by Board Member Vice Chair Jones to adjourn, and seconded by Board Member Smith Juarez. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.
Ashton's the one that said go Tigers, not me.
For all the Tide fans in the house.
Dad, I'm practicing. The arts. We had that.
Learn more at the School Choice Expo on January 12th.
Oh! Looks like a contusion of the distal phalanx.
Do I need surgery?
For a bruised finger, no, Dad, just ice. Medical arts? We have that.
Join us at the School Choice Expo.
Shoe?
Zipato. Amoreso.
Lunch. Backpack?
Mochilia. Amistad.
Friendship.
Dual language?
Tenemos eso.
Join us at the School Choice Expo on January 12th.
We're in high school,
Yeah?
but you're taking college classes?
Yeah?
But we're in high school.
Yeah, I know.
Accelerated programs?
We have that. Join us at the School Choice Expo on January 12th.